Hey, so I just needed to talk. That's why I chose this uh, background, that I chose to write this background on my sketch app. So I just wanted to talk about a few things. This is not regarding my normal topics regarding the Mandela effect, MEs, or any type of strangeness or strange situations. This is just more of a personal, serious topic. Now, I know I've talked about me and what I go through and things like that, but this is about my mama. So, I'm out of the truck recording this right now. I went outside. I thought it would be kind of a nice enclosed in area to record in the truck. So my mama went to the doctor several days ago, and the doctor, actually, that doctor had been nice. She'd been okay. She seemed to give her antibiotics fine before. My mama goes through a lot of infection, a whole lot of infection. And let me know if you all know what I'm talking about, where I'm coming from with this. Our healthcare, first of all, our healthcare in this country has been crap for a while now, and you all know that. I don't want to get too sappy. I don't want to get too emotional or whatever in this video. I probably will in another one. But I mean, the healthcare has become crap. The medical system, the pharmaceutical system, from what I can see, mostly has become very crappy. So, but moving to the story of what has happened. So a few days ago, my mama goes to the doctor and thinking that she's going to get help. The last time she got the antibiotics that she needed. So she thought she was going to get the help. Used to, you went to the doctor and you thought, well, I didn't like to go, but you're like, well, maybe I'm going to get some help. At least I'm going to get well. Yeah. That doesn't seem to happen anymore. It's almost like a waste of time going to the doctors. And many of you know that. I've had many of you speak with me and talk about that. So, she went to the doctor a few days ago, and she came out and she was upset by the way. First of all, they don't want me to go in there with her, which is stupid. They don't want to. I can understand because, if you have something personal and you want to talk about it, and the doctor or something, they want to talk about it with your parent, with your mother. But I see what my mama goes through. I know what she goes through. I've witnessed it on a daily basis, what my mama goes through as far as her pains and all of the suffering that she goes through. I see it. And so, but they don't want me to go in there with her. So I stay out in the truck. I stay out in the vehicle. And I let her go in there. I go back. I go in here and I stay in the truck while she goes in there. And first of all, people smoking outside of the doctor's office, that frustrates me. They've got to have their cigarettes, and they still help them. They get some of them get the help they need, which is crazy. But I know my granny did the same thing. My granny smoked. My mama doesn't smoke. My mama doesn't drink. My mama is a really good person. I love my mama greatly. And she deserves just love, help, compassion, and caring. Doctors have lost their human connection, their human compassion. Because you're a number, you're a dollar sign, that's what you are to the modern medical system. You are another dollar walking in that door. And you're also restricted based on the government and the rules and regulations. Because of supposedly some of these people out there making these decisions in this crisis that's been created. So, but she goes in there and she comes out very upset because they tell her, the doctor just gets on to her and just gets all over her. Well, I can't just keep giving you antibiotics. Hatefully. Antibiotics, for crying out loud. And when she takes one of those antibiotics, it's the only thing that eases the swelling in her side. She's still in pain a lot of times, but she can walk. She can walk. Sorry about the yelling. I don't want to yell. She can walk when she takes antibiotics. So she can move slightly. And that's just barely. But it takes the swelling down in her bladder and her side. And it also, so she has bad sciatic nerve pains. That nerve goes all the way up her hip from the sciatic nerve, goes up her back, through her spine, in her neck, and all the way down her leg. And she just hurts all over. Couple that with her side pain that she has. And along with her, she has irritable bowel now for some reason, just like suddenly, it was onset a while back. Now she has it consistently, has to take the dicyclamine that I take, the same medicine I take for my irritable bowel syndrome. And so she has those issues now. She has the pain, the suffering in her abdominal area, such swelling. And that antibiotic was the only thing that brought that down. So when she was in the doctor, they said, I can't keep giving you antibiotics. She said, one day when you have a serious problem, it's not going to work. Well, I mean, I get that to an extent. We get that. But what else are you going to do when that's the only thing that takes her pain away? I mean, but my granny went through many issues, very similar to what my mama is going through, but so many more surgeries. My granny went through so many surgeries, it was unbelievable. All my granny could eat at many points in her life, one point in her life, but all she could eat was just toast and poached eggs. And that's the honest truth, literal honest truth. So, I mean, my hand to the Lord, that's just what she had to eat. I'm telling you the truth. The Lord knows what I'm stating is true. Hopefully He hears me, and hopefully things get better. I've been asking for many years. I can do some healing things every once in a while, and believe me, I can do some very strange things, but not enough to completely heal for forever. I've gotten rid of sudden pains and scary pains and things like that, and miracles, I'll call them miracles, have happened, but I mean, I can't get rid of her full pain and suffering. Right now I'm having chest pains, bad chest pains. There's a lump in the chest, and it's swollen, and it's having sharp pains, pressurizing right now. I don't know what that is, but anyway, but back to my mama. This is about my mama. She's the most important. She's very important to me. So you go in the doctor and you come out disappointed. She just comes out of that doctor's office very upset. And she told me, and then she was crying. She cried and was stating the fact that, it's just wrong the way they do. So they tell her she can't get the antibiotics. This is the way the modern system does. They said, it's my license. It's my license. I could lose my license. All of that money I spent, I could lose that license. It shouldn't cost that much money to go to medical school, first of all. It's a racket. And all that money that they spend, they could lose their license over trying to help someone, the way I look at it. My granny took antibiotics her entire life. She never went through, and what she died of was lung cancer because she smoked her entire life. Smoked cigarettes. Those government-made cigarettes, those with their tar, their major chemicals, the nicotine, the addicting chemicals that they added with the tobacco that was, they added all of these, I don't know, there's like 120-something chemicals they added to those stupid cigarettes that were sold by government companies. And then the same companies years ago that were selling, this is how crooked the system is, the same exact company that were targeting children, targeting people for selling cigarettes with all of that nicotine and all of those chemicals and all of that mess in there, is the same company that was turning around and making the things and selling the products to get people off of smoking. This is fact. I remember this. My mama remembers that too. Back when my granny would smoke all of the time, the same companies were behind the sales of the things to get people to stop smoking. They were also selling the cigarettes themselves. But that's what my granny died of, lung cancer. She wouldn't have been able to live in this modern medical system because she would not have gotten the medical care she needs, the insurance she needs, and the help she needs at all. I mean, it would have been hopeless. So, anyway, after going to the doctor, then they tell her, we can't give you any antibiotics anymore. You're on the list. It's on the list to not give you antibiotics. Seriously? She takes Bactrim. She has to have Bactrim. That Bactrim has helped her out. She had another left, and she had one she took this evening, and it took the swelling down, stopped her side pain. Well, it didn't stop it, but you know what I mean. It eased it. And the swelling, you could literally see the difference. The swelling went down, and she stated that the bladder swelling went down and her side swelling went down after she took the Bactrim. And they said, we can't just keep giving you Bactrim. Well, what else are you going to do when that's what helps? They said, we need to send you to a urologist. And a urologist costs a lot of money. That costs a whole lot of money. So, I mean, that's the kind of things that they do, that they want to do. They want to send you off to specialist after specialist, like they did with me back when I was in high school. When I was in school, I went to, well, I'm not going to state the names of the doctors, but I could name off 4 or 5 doctors right now. The 3 that were at the building that I went to, and then I went to multiple other doctors and experts. I went to a major hospital. They had several examinations. I had 4 or 5 different CAT scans, not MRIs, CAT scans, CT scans. I had the scans where you go inside that thing and it's like you're claustrophobic and it goes boom, 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 like that, where they pump the liquid through your blood and it goes into your bloodstream, your system. You drink that strange liquid. I went through all of those things 5 different times or more. I went through 2 different colonoscopies. They were looking in my intestines. They found polyps. They had to remove some of the polyps. They did a horrible job one time when they worked on me. And went through several different things, finding out that I had irritable bowel. The doctor stated, well, you've got diverticulitis issues, which is usually someone 65 years and older, but I had it in high school. And they stated that I had a lot of issues with my intestines. And the first doctor I went to said, well, we don't know what else to do, so we'll give you some irritable bowel syndrome medicine, IBS. Well, that helped later. It didn't help at the time, but it did later, and I'm glad it did. I went to another doctor, a specialist, and he said, well, you've got Crohn's disease. I know you do. And I went through weeks and months of testing, went to multiple hospitals. Then I had that was during my 3-day hospital stay that I had to stay in the hospital, that they did testing on me. They were pumping liquid into my blood, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. They never found out what was wrong with me, and they dropped it abruptly. I had an infectious disease expert from a county over go to the hospital, check my stool out, check out the poop, and they were checking to see what was inside, and there were blood particles. They said, well, if there's blood within your poop, something's wrong. Something's happening within the bowel process. They never even followed up. Never sent me a follow-up with that doctor. So then they said, well, your liver's off. You have a fatty liver issue. They said, but it's not enough to worry about. It's not enough right now. Wait a few years, it will be, but not right now. When you have the insurance and they could take care of it. Back then, I had Cover Kids that they would take care of through TennCare, Tennessee, when I was in school, till I was after 18 years old. Then they didn't cover the full coverage anymore. Back then, copay was only $5 for me. Now you walk in, you're paying well over $200 just to go to the doctor. And that's with insurance. Higher with insurance than self-pay. And then if you have medical bills, oh my goodness, forget about it. But think about the way this medical system is now. It's pathetic. But moving back to when I was in there, when I was going through that, and I went through side pain, unbelievable, like side pain, and I was having bloody bowel movements. My navel, my belly button was bleeding consistently. I couldn't hardly walk. I would black out. I would just fall over. And high school, I would shake. My body was trembling. I would shake. I was sick all the time. School years were very difficult for me. People were like, what, are you dying, dude? You sound like you're dying. Then I went through months of coughing and illnesses. They never found anything. Oh, you have a few respiratory issues. But we can't find out what's wrong. We can't find an infection. Back then, they gave me antibiotics all the time for that, and that's the only thing that got me through. The antibiotics took some of the infection away for a little while, and then they gave me some pain medication when I was really bad. Then I had to go to the hospital 3 different times. That was me. This is part of my story. So I went to the hospital 3 different times in high school, each time during my exams, so I didn't have to take the exams each time. That's the only good thing out of that, I suppose, if you want to find a positive light in it. So I went to the hospital 3 different times during those years of my high school years. So they found nothing. Then finally, that infectious disease expert never heard back from them. So then we went to I had these issues with my skin and reactions. The dermatologist, they gave me something that later wound up finding out that people were suing over, but because it was causing issues. Well, that's a whole other story. That finally stopped. I had these strange bumps coming up. They were trying to figure out why, and it was infection bumps, obviously, from the inside, but they couldn't figure out why. Then this infection was causing teeth to rot from the inside out. The cavities coming from the inside out because of the issues in my stomach. Then I had this Helicobacter pylori, H. pylori. They said the bacteria, they said, they don't know where it came from or what happened. It didn't come from here. They don't understand. Well, so they had to give me medicine and antibiotics to remove that immediately out of my bloodstream. They found strange crystals in my urine. They were like, what in the world? It was weird. That's one thing I don't understand either. They found these crystals. Maybe I'm a crystal child. But I've always figured that too. But anyway, moving back to, I finally had gone to this other doctor that I thought was going to help me. And he stated, why are you here? Don't you want him to be well? That's what he told my mama. Don't you want him to be well? And I'm like, well, but we would like to know what the problem is. And I started crying. And he said, fine, we'll do that other test where we send the camera down on your intestines. He never followed up with that test. He sent me out that door, signed it out, and was never going to do that test again. He said, we'll give you a follow-up in 6 weeks. And he said, nope, no, there's no test. He's not going to do the test. I was crying walking out that door, and he said, walk out the other door so the patients don't see me crying because I got no help. And my mama was upset as well. So then later, when I was going through all these issues going to the doctor up there told me, well, we'll send you to, where they said, we found something likely, my liver might be off. They said, we're sending you to the surgeon. And I thought, oh my goodness, they're sending me to the surgeon. That means they actually have found the issue and they're going to find the solution and fix it. I got in there, that surgeon, I waited for him, and he walked in there and said, what are you doing here? Why are you here? The surgeon. The same surgeon, mind you, that asked me as a child, my parents and I, what do you want to do? They asked me and my parents, what do you want to do? Do you think he should have the surgery? Do you think he should have the surgery? That's what the surgeon said, my appendix surgery. Get to the hospital, they looked at me like I shouldn't have even been there. They did the test. I was throwing everything up. Then they found out, we got to get you in there immediately. You're about to die. Your appendix is going to burst. Yeah, 4th grade, that's what happened to me. Fast forward back to high school, go back to high school, I'm going to get back to the story of that. Now I'm telling all about myself as well, but this is mostly my mama. My mama means more to me than anything you could ever imagine. My mama is special, okay? And I'm just telling what we've all been through. And so then the surgeon said, what are you doing here? Your liver's only a percentage off. Your liver, he said, your liver's got, normal range. He said, we worry about you at about 40%. Your liver is 35% off or something. The bile level, the level's at 35%. I'm thinking, isn't that bad enough? And he said, not enough to worry about. Unless it's 40%, you're not supposed to be in here. And he's like, what are you doing in here? And I said, well, the doctor sent me. And the hospital sent me the paperwork saying to go to you that I needed to go to the surgeon. And he's like, you don't need to be here. He says, probably just your rib causing you pain. And that's what he gave me. He said, you might have a fracture in the rib from doing heavy lifting or something. I couldn't even lift anything without hurting and blacking out. But anyway, back to my mama. So she goes to the pharmacist, and then they say, call the doctor, and then it's a rigmarole run around the next day. We go there, we go to the doctor, and then this is what happens. They tell her, we can't keep giving you antibiotics. We're not giving you antibiotics anymore. You're on the list to not have antibiotics. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life, when that's the one thing that actually eases her pain a little bit. And so my granny had to have the same thing. But back then, they'd give you 100 refills. They'd give you years of refills, and it was no big deal. Now, the system is so monitored. And when you go to the pharmacist, they stated that this one other guy told him that they quit his medication. He needed it. It was dire. And they stopped it. They wouldn't let him have it anymore under this current system. And the system that's been playing out for many years now, probably 8 to 10 years, it's been playing out. And so they took his medication away, one that he really needed. That was this other person talking to us. Well, talking to my parents. And the pharmacist was saying, well, we don't have a problem with that, with antibiotics. We don't have a problem with that. It must be your doctor. The doctor has a problem with it. And they said, well, their license is at stake, you know. They treat you like a number. They treat you like just like a dollar bill. That's all you are to them. Doctors don't have any empathy, no compassion, no one-on-one understanding. They didn't even do any vital sign testing on my mama. She said they didn't even do any vitals, test on any vitals. Come to think of it, last time I was in there, they didn't do any on me either. They're like, well, this is what you need. We can't do this. They told her we'll put you on this. We're getting you off the antibiotics. Then we get to the pharmacy. They didn't even have that medicine that they were supposed to put her on for that pain. And they said that medicine's supposed to be for after you've had that something. I forgot what. They said, I don't know why they're giving you this, but they said it's for the urinary tract infection or bladder, so they're going to try it. And so they said they don't have any of it. And so they said, we'll give you 7 more days of the antibiotic, but that's it. That's all, and that's the last time you'll ever get it. I'm thinking, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. And then you got all these people out there, it's a crisis and all that. The crisis for us is that we can't get what we need. Now, I understand all these harsh things and horrible things they do. There's no excuse for that, for these things being out there. But people should be able to get what they need when they need it. That's my opinion. What's the medical care like where you are? Is there any solution that you all have as an idea? I'll probably make another video talking about this, and if you get tired of hearing it, I greatly apologize for that. I just needed to talk. I needed to share. I just needed to talk about, let's just talk about the current medical system and how my mama really needs help. I just needed to reach out. What do you think we should do about this? So my daddy takes care of us. Thankfully, he drives a truck, and thankfully, I don't know how much longer that will work, but I have to stay home with my mama. I stay home with her, and that's our situation. I stay home with my mama. I help her out. I haven't had a job. I don't have a job. I don't have a source of income, so I don't know what we'll do. I mean, I don't know, but they expect her to have all of these tests done. They want her to have tests done. They want her to go to a urologist. They want her to have all of these things done. That's very expensive. And the insurance at my daddy's company is ridiculously outrageous and barely can afford ours. It takes out it takes up a large percentage of the check if you were to do that. And it's just crazy how this world and system has gotten. People aren't getting the help that they need. Money's not going to the places that it needs to go. And care is not first. And this current administration was trying to do that. Put people first. Care for people again. And they just can't see that. And that's what needs to be done. There was a current healthcare bill that was a whole lot cheaper being laid out. And what did they do? They downed it. They wouldn't let it happen. They wouldn't let it pass. They wouldn't let this happen, whatever. Under Obamacare, we were penalized every year for not having it. It was going to be more expensive. It was forcing you to buy it, but we couldn't afford it, so we didn't get it. And then they penalized us at the end of the year by taking the part of the tax money out. Finally, that's one thing that stopped. I mean, that's crazy. This country's gotten crazy as far as the medical care, the help. People need help. So what do you think we should do? And the doctor had the audacity to say, and we're not even that, like, try getting that on the street and see what happens. What they're offering her, and it's still nothing like antibiotics. We never even brought anything or even gave the inkling of anything like that. We don't even look like that type of person that would even contemplate that or do that. You see people in our area and everywhere, they're dealing, they're doing all kinds of things. And you hear people talking about it like it's nothing, just getting all these types of drugs and medicines and taking all these things, and like rappers would do, and all of these celebrities bragging about it. They get it easily, but we can't even get simple things like antibiotics. I went to the dentist, and they told me we won't even be able to give. I was going through infection in my tooth. They said we won't even be able to give this very soon. They said we can't give hydrocodone at all now. And they said we won't be able to give antibiotics at all here at the dentist now. For infection in teeth? That is ridiculous that's under a controlled substance. I mean, come on. Come on. A controlled substance. And they also stated they had to give me, they said, we can't give hydrocodone, so we'll give Tylenol 3. They are allowed to give something that's going to make you sleepy. How are you supposed to go to work and school if you're taking something making you sleepy? And that's what they want to give. In the TV and media, they're pushing cannabis or marijuana or, hemp and things like that. They won't even let people get the medicines or medications that they need. It's not even legal in our state anyway. They arrest people around here for having a small amount. And, but that's not even, we've never even tried those things. We had never even contemplated those things. We never tried those things. We don't even take anything unless we need it. I'm the type of person, I've never taken medicine unless I need it. And they treat everyone now like a criminal and a quick dollar, and you don't really matter because they're being controlled to only administer and only do what they're allowed to do, and you're just like nothing to them. You mean nothing to them, and that's what it's like. So what do you think we should do? Is there any solution? She can't even get her Bactrim. And that's good stuff to help. That's good antibiotics to help you. I've had to take that in the past for infections that I've had, and it helped. Doctors are so crazy, they stated that men don't get urinary tract infections. That's what they told us. That's bull. I've gotten it, my daddy's gotten it, my mama's gotten it. All three of us, male and female, we've gotten it. So, anyway, that's crazy. But they don't know anything unless it's right in front of them. Just all they know is what they're told and told to know. So, what do you think we should do, really? I mean, I'm just asking, is there a solution here on this? They're going to try her on that other thing, so hopefully it helps. She had it they said it was in the system. She tried it a long time ago. Well, obviously, if it worked, she would have continued using it for help. But we'll see what happens with what they're going to give her when they get any in stock within 7 days. But right now, they're going to give her the last of the Bactrim she can have. The last of what helps her. Which is stupid for them to do. But and that's all they would do. No more, they stated. And they act mad. They act completely angry and frustrated, and there's no empathy. There's no care. I would not like to be in the modern medical system where you can't help people how you want. Like you remember in Patch Adams, back that movie with Robin Williams where he portrayed Patch Adams, where we were shown that in medical class, where he wanted to help people, so he helped people for whatever they had on them. He helped them because which they said, that's illegal. You have to go to school and all this stuff for that. That's illegal to not administer it legally and help people. But he helped people for as cheap as possible. And I feel people should try to help each other in this world. And I don't know why it's gotten to the point it's gotten, but it's really bad. It's really wrong. And is there anything you think we could do? Is there something that, I've tried many of the methods that you all provided. I thank you greatly. We've tried that, but she's still going through a lot of pain and a lot of problems. And I just had to share all this. I hope you got through this video. I apologize for making it so long and a drawn-out video. I greatly apologize. If you did get through all of this and all of my not only sharing her story of what she's going through, but mine as well that I went through about the modern medical system. If you got through all this video, I thank you so much. Let me know your opinions. Do you have any opinions? The state of Tennessee has horrible medical help now anyway, but do you have any ideas on what to do? That's all I can ask. So, much love and peace. I'll keep praying for positivity and good fortune. I'll keep praying and hoping for better days and better times. It really upset her, and it did me as well. So, I don't know. Like I stated in the other video that I did, I don't know if I'll post this or not. I might. it's emotional posting something like this. I had to get up to where I could, and I mean, see, listen to the traffic. It's crazy. There's drug traffic. There's crap like that going on all the time. There's drug traffic all the time, and yet people like us can't even go to the doctor. When you try to do things the right way, you get punished, and it's just wrong. While everything else is let run rampant. You try to do things the way that's considered the right way. You try to do things honestly and right, and you get punished. Why is that? The medical system should not be that way. While the drug dealers and drug lords and kingpins and the people, the dealers and people just fly around running rampant, going back and forth, just all the time. They're never stopped. They do what they do, but yet we try to go to the doctor honestly and get what we need, and they won't give it to you. They won't even help you. Doctors and the modern medical system is a racket and is very wrong, and I wish they knew. I wish the system knew, and I wish those in charge knew the pain and suffering and what it's like to feel that way. The way we have felt, and the way my mama feels on a daily basis, on a moment-by-moment basis. What do you think we should do about it? I just wonder if any of you had any opinions on it. I appreciate all of your past help. I will post my email below, and I'll try to get back as soon as possible. It's been crazy with YouTube is not notifying me again. I'm having to look on my channel, on my actual channel on the Chrome browser, and go into my account and look through the posted comments, and respond that way. And also I'm having to, it's been quite difficult with my channel, but I just wanted to state all of this, and I had to share it. So I will post my email below so that you can respond to me that way. I'll post my channel's email so you can respond that way if you prefer. So what do you think we should do? Anyway, peace and much love, and God bless us all, because we need it for sure. Anyway, peace. Bye.